Scorpio, my dear, what if the pain you're feeling right now isn't a punishment, but a sacred preparation? What if that sharp, almost unbearable moment, the one you're afraid might break you, is actually the beginning of something divine? If you're here watching this right now, it's not a coincidence. It's not an accident. It's because your soul aligned with this exact moment. The stars, your higher self, and perhaps even the quiet voice of God have guided you to this message. And I believe that this moment could mark the beginning of a breakthrough you didn't even know you were waiting for. Welcome to Miracle of the Sign, a place where celestial insight meets sacred healing. Where your astrological path converges with spiritual truth. And today, Scorpio, the message is crystal clear: be strong. It will hurt. But God knows exactly what He's doing. This is not just another reading. This is a revelation. You may be standing at the edge of an emotional cliff. Something you trusted, someone you believed in, a dream you've held onto, a version of yourself you've grown attached to may be slipping through your fingers. And it hurts. Oh, how it hurts. But beneath that grief, beyond that ache, is a spiritual recalibration. This moment isn't designed to destroy you. It's designed to refine you. There's a divine intelligence at work behind the scenes. Something sacred is unfolding, even if it doesn't feel that way yet. And as the energies of Pluto, the ruler of your sign, intensify, you are being asked to go deep, deeper than ever before. To face not only what has happened, but who you are becoming because of it. And let me say this, you are not being broken. You are being rebuilt. Scorpio, the pain is real, but so is the purpose. God is not withholding blessings from you. He's positioning you to carry them. Sometimes, the most tragic blow is the very thing that awakens your truest self, the self that was hidden beneath layers of illusion, false security, or unaligned relationships. This video will guide you through that awakening, step by sacred step. So take a deep breath with me. Breathe in grace. Exhale everything that no longer belongs. You are not alone in this moment. And before we move forward, I want to take a moment to express the deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like you offer, every comment you share, and every time you choose to subscribe to this channel. You're not just supporting content. You're becoming part of something bigger, a spiritual family, a soul community that believes in healing through truth, alignment, and divine timing. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for showing up for yourself, and for the sacred mission we share together. Your presence is not taken for granted. It fuels this message and ensures that more hearts like yours can receive these words when they need them most. And trust me, Scorpio, you will want to stay with me until the very end of this video. Because what the universe is revealing to you today is not just powerful. It is life-altering. There's something unexpected, something tragic, yes, but also transformative, waiting to be understood through spiritual eyes. So let me ask you, what has fallen apart in your world that may actually be falling into divine order? And if your spirit is already resonating with this message, don't let it remain unspoken. Leave a comment below that says, I believe God knows exactly what He's doing. Let it be your spiritual anchor. Your declaration of trust. Because this journey, it's not just about survival. It's about resurrection. And now, let us begin. Scorpio, Everything about your journey right now speaks of a breaking open, not a breaking down. The tension between Pluto, your ruling planet, and the moon creates an emotional axis so deep and raw that many other signs wouldn't survive it unscathed. But you, Scorpio, are not like the others. You are built for rebirth. You are the sign that swims in shadow and emerges with sacred light. And yet, I know this moment feels anything but empowering. It may feel like you're unraveling. Like the very core of what you trusted, whether it be a person, a plan, or even your identity, is slipping through your fingers. That sensation, while disorienting, is not a signal of failure. It's a signal of divine reconstruction. Pluto doesn't destroy for cruelty's sake, it deconstructs what is false to make room for what is eternal. That's the deeper meaning behind what you're experiencing right now. It's not chaos for chaos' sake. It's sacred disruption. And when the Tower card appears, as it often does for Scorpio during periods like this, it's not a punishment. It's a holy interruption. It's the earthquake your soul requested when it grew too tired of holding up walls that were never meant to last. You may feel like everything is falling apart, but from the perspective of energy, it's actually falling into truth. You are being stripped of illusion. You are being freed from the roles, masks, and attachments that no longer support your becoming. And I know that feels terrifying. Especially for a soul as loyal, intense, and emotionally invested as yours. But the truth is, the more deeply we love, the more devastating it is when we must let go. Scorpio teaches us this sacred paradox, that depth is both our power and our vulnerability. What you're going through is not weakness, it's a sacred shedding. Just as the snake outgrows its skin, so too are you shedding identities that once fit but now restrict. This moment is painful, but it is holy. Because the collapse isn't meant to destroy you, it's meant to introduce you to the version of yourself who has been waiting to rise from the ashes. That version of you is quieter, yes, but wiser. Softer, perhaps, but stronger. This is not the end. It's the uncovering of the next beginning. And sometimes the only way for that new beginning to arrive is through the storm. You see, spiritual awakening doesn't always come wrapped in peace and ease. Often, it comes through crisis. Through the loss of what we once clung to. Through the shattering of what no longer resonates with the soul we're becoming. In the teachings of everyday faith, we are reminded again and again that transformation is often disguised as turmoil. Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much fruit. These words aren't just poetic, they are deeply aligned with what you, Scorpio, are living through now. You are not being buried. You are being planted. The darkness you're feeling isn't the end, it's the sacred soil of rebirth. And if you allow it, this experience will not just change you, it will elevate you. Refine you. Prepare you for blessings that require the version of you emerging from this pain. So if your world is trembling, if the foundations of your heart feel unstable, I want you to remember this. You are not collapsing. You are recalibrating. God has not abandoned you, He is just removing everything that doesn't align with what He's building through you. If this message resonates, if you've been feeling like everything you counted on is slipping away, I invite you to affirm your awakening. Comment below and say, I am awakening. Not just for me to see it, but for you to anchor it. For your soul to say out loud, I may be in the dark, but I know this is not the end of my story. This is the beginning of my truth. Scorpio, when we spoke earlier about the breaking, about the emotional earthquake that had been quietly building in the shadows of your soul, we weren't speaking of chaos for the sake of pain. We were speaking of the sacred design beneath what seems like sudden collapse. And now, as we move deeper into this story, a story not just of stars and signs, but of your very spirit, to arrive at a truth most avoid, that often, it's not the pain that wounds us most, but the disappointment of expectation left unmet. The Tower card, often misunderstood as punishment, is in fact an act of divine mercy in disguise. It tears down what was never rooted in truth, so something honest, enduring, and aligned can rise in its place. When we place our hope, our happiness, or our peace entirely in someone else's hands, whether it's a lover, a parent, a friend, or even a version of who we thought we would be, unknowingly surrender our emotional sovereignty. We hand over our weather to someone else's storm. And it's only when they pull away, let us down, or reveal their humanness that we realize we've been living from the outside in, not from the inside out. That's what this Tower moment is calling your attention to. Not just the fall, but the foundation it reveals beneath the dust. There may be a part of you still holding on to something or someone simply because letting go feels too much like being alone. And I understand that. I honor that. But I ask you gently now, Scorpio, are you holding on out of alignment, or out of fear? Because what you fear losing might be the very thing that's preventing you from finally claiming the life you deserve. This week, if that tragic blow arrives in the form of a conversation, a revelation, or a moment of clarity, know that it is not a betrayal of your path. It is the unveiling of it. The cosmic mirror has no interest in punishing you. It only wants you to see clearly. To stop begging someone to water the garden of your soul when they don't even know how to hold a watering can. This is where we speak of emotional detachment, not as avoidance, but as empowerment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means you stop expecting others to carry your joy, your validation, or your sense of worth. You retrieve your energy from the places it was scattered. You come home to yourself. You stop asking the broken pieces of someone else's story to complete your own. And you remember that healing doesn't always come from fixing what broke, but from finally releasing it. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the master of endings and beginnings. Your soul came here to learn how to die and be reborn, not once, but many times. This is one of those sacred deaths. The letting go of the false dream. The acceptance that what cracked wasn't realer than it once was, but has since expired. And yes, grief will visit. You may feel betrayed, disappointed, or hollow. Let it pass through. Don't resist it. But also don't mistake its presence for permanence. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Let them speak. Then let them move. This is your invitation to reclaim what is yours, your center, your clarity, your calm. Not because someone gave it to you, but because you chose it. You are no longer the person who pleads for love in places that only know how to borrow your light. You are someone who stands tall in your truth, even when your knees are shaking. And you are someone who knows that surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. So as this tower reshapes your inner landscape, trust that its fire only consumes what was unstable. And what remains, what rises from the ashes, you. Real, radiant, and finally free. If you feel this message moving something inside of you, whisper it aloud, or comment below, I am reclaiming myself. Let that be your vow, your anchor, your soft but mighty roar into the next version of who you're becoming. Scorpio, if you've made it this far in the message, I know your soul is listening closely, tenderly, and maybe even a little cautiously. And I want you to know, that's okay. This next part of your journey doesn't ask you to be fearless. It simply asks you to be willing. Willing to soften into the pain. Willing to lean into the unknown. Because something sacred is beginning where something familiar has ended. And right now, the universe isn't just nudging you to evolve, it's preparing to peel back everything that no longer belongs. The presence of the snake in your reading isn't random. In ancient symbolism, the snake is not a threat, it's an oracle of transformation. It doesn't strike out of malice. It sheds its skin because it has no other choice. It's not a glamorous process. It's slow, vulnerable, raw. But it is necessary. Because the skin that once protected now restricts. The version of you that once survived no longer matches the frequency of the life you are called to live. And so it must fall away. During October, with the sun shining directly into the house of your inner shadows, your zodiac season arrives not as a celebration but as an excavation. This is your energetic homecoming, but it doesn't come through ease. It comes through the gentle but powerful confrontation of everything that's been left buried. Old grief. Unspoken truths. Emotional debris you've carried on your back for so long, it almost started to feel like your identity. But here's the miracle: the moment you allow it to surface, is the moment you are free to stop carrying it. You don't have to hold on to what you've outgrown just because it's familiar. And pain, as loud as it may feel, is only the echo of something your soul is ready to release. You see, every Scorpio is born with a gift not just to endure darkness, but to integrate it. While others run from discomfort, you understand its language. You don't just survive endings. You transmute them. But even the most powerful among us need a reminder that pain doesn't always mean danger. Sometimes, it means you're expanding. That the shell around your heart is cracking because something luminous inside you is ready to emerge. And when something shatters a relationship, a belief, a version of your future, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means your inner wisdom is becoming louder than your fear. It means you're trusting your intuition more than your patterns. It means you're choosing truth over comfort. There may be a loss coming. A conversation that cuts deep. A secret that shifts everything. But rather than resist, let this be the moment you meet yourself not as the person trying to hold everything together but as the soul finally allowing what's broken to fall apart, so something stronger can be born. Imagine this: a snake doesn't mourn the loss of its old skin. It doesn't cling to the past. It slithers into the unknown with trust, instinctively knowing that its growth depends on letting go. So I ask you now, not as a challenge, but as a quiet invitation: are you ready to shed your skin, Scorpio? Not because it's easy but because it's time. Let this be your moment of conscious release. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to begin. With one breath. One honest feeling. One truth spoken aloud. And if your heart is whispering yes, even if it trembles, honor that whisper. It's your soul saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to grow, even if it hurts. Because sometimes, pain isn't the enemy. It's the doorway. And beyond it, is everything you've been praying for. Scorpio, this is where it becomes quiet. Not because the storm has passed, but because something in you is beginning to listen more deeply. To the soft ache underneath the anger. To the heavy silence beneath the disappointment. This is the part of the journey where faith becomes less about belief in outcomes and more about trust in your capacity to carry yourself through what you never thought you could endure. And maybe right now, that sounds too gentle for the weight you're carrying. But there is power in gentleness. Especially when everything inside you wants to give up, shut down, or run away. What you're feeling is real. That sharp sting of betrayal, the loneliness that creeps in after someone lets you down, the question marks you can't answer no matter how many times you replay the memory, it's all real. You are not overreacting. You are not too sensitive. You are responding to something that mattered. You cared. You gave your trust. And it hurt. And that pain deserves space to breathe. But what it doesn't deserve is a permanent place in your identity. You are allowed to feel it, but you are not required to build a home inside it. There is a quiet wisdom that comes when we stop assigning our healing to the actions of others. When we realize that just because someone broke our heart doesn't mean they hold the power to repair it. This is the shift. The moment where you step back from the edge, not because someone pulled you to safety, but because you remembered you have legs. You remembered that the darkness isn't endless. You remembered there is light even if right now, it only flickers faintly. Emotional healing is not about dismissing what happened. It's about unhooking your worth from it. It's about saying, yes, I was hurt, but no, I am not ruined. And for Scorpio, whose energy runs deep, whose emotional ties are like undercurrents in the ocean, this kind of detachment isn't cold. It's sacred. Because to detach in this way doesn't mean you stop loving, it means you start protecting your peace. It means you stop offering your most tender parts to people who don't know how to hold them. And in that sacred pullback, in that quiet returning to yourself, you begin to rebuild from the inside out. What you are learning right now is that not everyone will love with the same depth you offer. Not everyone will stay. Not everyone will say sorry. And that's okay. You don't need closure to heal. You need truth. And the truth is, the pain you feel isn't here to break you, it's here to show you where you've outgrown what once felt like home. It's here to guide you toward a version of yourself that no longer requires outside validation to feel whole. Breathe with me. Just for a moment. Inhale the truth that you are still standing. Exhale the lie that you were ever too much or not enough. You are here. And that means you still have the power to choose who you become after the pain. So if you're feeling weary, if you're questioning your ability to keep loving, keep hoping, keep rising, know that you're not alone. And you're not weak. You're human. And healing is messy, non-linear, and breathtakingly brave. And when it feels like your faith is flickering out, remember that resilience is often found in the softest voice that whispers, "I'll try again tomorrow." If this part of your story resonates with where you are now, I invite you to affirm it out loud or in the comments below. Say, "I'm still standing. I am healing. I choose to grow." Let this be your promise to yourself. Not because you're done hurting, but because you've decided your pain will not be the final word. Scorpio, after all the unraveling, all the letting go, all the moments you questioned whether you'd ever feel whole again, you arrive here. In this quiet but powerful space where a new frequency begins to take shape inside your spirit. It doesn't roar. It doesn't demand. It simply glows soft, steady, certain. And this is where the final card reveals itself, blessing. Not as a reward for your suffering, but as the natural fruit of your transformation. When the old structures crumble and the false identities are released, what remains is truth. And truth, no matter how buried it once was, always makes space for something miraculous. The energy around you is shifting now, in ways that might not yet be visible, but are already vibrating through the unseen layers of your life. In astrology, we often speak of transits and timing, how the movements of the planets mirror the rhythms of the soul. And right now, cosmic alignments are pointing toward resolution. Saturn, the planet of divine order, is forming stable angles in your chart, while Mercury prepares to deliver messages long delayed. Whether it's a contract, a legal decision, a financial breakthrough, or a long-awaited piece of clarity, something is preparing to arrive that will feel like the missing puzzle piece you've been praying for. But here's the secret: your blessing isn't just in the outcome. It's in the readiness you've cultivated through every moment you didn't give up. Through every decision to keep going when your heart wanted to shut down. That's what opens the channel. That's what makes you not just a receiver of the miracle, but a vessel worthy of carrying it forward with integrity, compassion, and purpose. You are not the same person you were when the storm began. And because of that, what you're ready to receive now is different, deeper, more aligned, more true to who you are becoming. And so I offer you a gentle practice. Not to fix anything, but to anchor you in the truth of this moment. Take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words into your own being. I am ready to receive what is meant for me. Then, take it one step further. Write a thank you for the blessing before it arrives. Not because you're trying to force the outcome, but because gratitude is a language the universe understands fluently. Gratitude is alignment. It tells the universe, I trust. I'm open. I know something good is already finding its way to me. Visualize a light ahead of you, not a blinding spotlight, but a gentle glow that illuminates one step at a time. That light is your intuition. That light is your clarity. That light is the blessing making its way toward you through the tangled vines of divine timing. And when it reaches you, you will recognize it not just because it looks like what you hoped for, but because it feels like what you've grown into. The power of this prophecy doesn't lie in the external reward. It lies in the internal shift. You are being prepared to hold more light. And that begins by releasing the belief that your pain was meaningless. It never was. Every tear softened your heart. Every breakdown cleared a path. Every lonely night made space for sacred understanding. So if your soul feels the truth of this, speak it. Breathe it. Anchor it. Say it aloud or write it below. I'm ready to walk into my divine timing. I choose to believe that what's coming is better than what I lost. And let that be your closing vow as you step into the quiet, beautiful unfoldment of a chapter that was always meant to be yours. And now, Scorpio, as we come to the quiet close of this sacred moment together, I want to remind you gently, yet firmly, that you are not broken. You are being reshaped. Life has not left you behind. It is reordering itself around the version of you that is finally ready to rise. Everything you've been through, every disappointment, every silence, every tear you thought went unnoticed, they have all been counted, not as losses, but as lessons. Not as punishment, but preparation. What felt like an end was truly a clearing. What felt like abandonment may, in time, reveal itself as redirection. And what felt like pain was, in fact, a deep initiation into the power of who you are meant to become. You don't have to carry everything forward. You don't have to hold your breath anymore. You can exhale. You can let go of the need to understand all the reasons and simply trust that something greater is unfolding beneath the surface. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be unshakable. You just need to be willing to believe that healing is possible, that joy is still in your future, and that you are never too far gone for grace to find you. What would shift for you if you started each day not asking, "Why did this happen to me?" but instead, "How is this shaping me into someone wiser, softer, braver?" What if you began to see your pain not as a prison, but as a passage? What if your heartbreak was not the ending, but the door to your true beginning? Scorpio, I hope today reminded you of one unshakable truth. You are allowed to outgrow what once felt like home. You are allowed to change. And you are allowed to believe again without shame, without apology, and without needing proof. Faith doesn't always feel loud. Sometimes, it sounds like a whisper in the dark, "Keep going." Sometimes, it looks like showing up when you feel empty. And sometimes, it's just choosing to believe that God knows exactly what He's doing, even when you don't. So I want to ask you now, from one soul to another, what pain are you still carrying that no longer belongs to your future? What story have you outgrown but are still afraid to close? And more importantly, what version of yourself is finally ready to emerge from the ashes? If something in your heart stirred while listening, let it speak. Comment below, even just a sentence. Say, "I believe in God's plan." Or maybe, "I choose to rise, even if I'm still trembling." And if you feel moved to, leave the name of someone you love in the comments. I'll include them in my prayers, as I do with everyone in this miracle of the sign family. Thank you, deeply and sincerely, for spending this time with me. Every like, every comment, every soul who chooses to subscribe here right helps this message reach the hearts that need it most. Your support allows us to keep planting seeds of healing, of faith, of transformation, in a world that desperately needs them. And trust me, you'll want to stay with us because what's coming next, Scorpio, is nothing short of miraculous. Until then, breathe gently. Walk slowly. Let go boldly. And remember, be strong. It will hurt. But God knows exactly what He's doing.